everyone, my name is Russell Brunson. I hope you guys are doing amazing today. I'm so excited to have you guys here, and today I've got a really special presentation. I've never done this presentation ever. I'm really excited for it. I was up all night putting it together, getting all the pieces, and hopefully it's going to help give you guys a huge shift in your thinking and help you guys understand what's actually possible. I got a bunch of cool things up here hanging out, and so really quick, the title of this presentation today is how to finally get into the 2 Club in the next 12 months without the fear of falling into the gap again. What is the gap? We're gonna talk about that here in a bit, but that's what we're gonna be covering here in this presentation. Now, I know you guys have heard me talk about the 2 Club. How many of you guys know that that's a goal you want to be in the 2 Club? I obviously can't see you guys, but hopefully you're going crazy, yes. That should be a goal for every single person. So that is the title. Now, during this presentation, I'm gonna cover 3 core secrets, and I want you guys taking notes on this stuff because I'm gonna go kind of fast. The more excited I get, the faster I talk, and I'm gonna try to keep it slow, but I just know myself, so make sure you're writing things down. Secret number 1, I'm gonna talk to you guys about how to give yourself a raise every day. How many of you guys wanna give yourself a raise every single day from now till the rest of your life? Okay, yeah, it's a lot better way to live. Most people walk up in the morning and they wait for 6 months, a year, 2 years, and they're hoping to get a raise like that. I want to transition your thoughts and everything to help you understand that you literally can give yourself a raise every day. That's the reason why we become entrepreneurs, am I right? All right, so that's secret number 1. Secret number 2, I want you to understand that you are literally just one funnel away. One funnel away from what? Well, for you, it's going to be different than me, but whatever that goal is, whatever that result is that you want to get, it's not that far. It's one funnel away, and I'm going to show you guys that so you understand that. And secret number 3, the second million to make is way easier than the first million. I want you guys to understand that because the first time it's hard. I don't know about you, but for me, it took me 4 or 5 years to get the first million. And as soon as I did, I was like, oh crap, this is actually not that hard. And I did it over and over again. And I'm gonna show you guys that process as well. So that's what we're gonna be covering. But to begin with, before I kind of dive into this whole thing, I wanna talk about the 2 Club because I know a lot of you guys have heard about that. And I wanna just tell a story that I think will help you guys. In fact, this is one of my 2 Club trophies. In my wall, I think I've got, how many do we have now? 17. So 17 times I've had a funnel make at least $1 million. And I initially did this to work because I wanted my own gold record on the wall. Like, you look at like real bands, like when they go platinum, they get a record. I'm like, what are entrepreneurs? What do we get, right? So I was like, let's do this for ourselves. And then eventually it became a big thing. And now we've given away a whole bunch. And I'll kind of talk to you guys about that here in a minute. But the story behind this whole thing. So when I got started, I was like most of us. I was an entrepreneur who was trying to make some extra money on the side. Like that was my my initial goal. I met my beautiful wife. We were engaged, and she was working and I wasn't. And I didn't want to work. I wanted to keep wrestling. And I was like, how do I make some money? So I tried all sorts of things. I started selling stuff on eBay. I started other things. Nothing really worked that well. But I had a little business, and I had, I don't know, I probably had 5 or 6 customers. And in fact, I remember when we got married, I went on my honeymoon. And while we were on the honeymoon, I brought my laptop. And she's like, why are you bringing your laptop? I'm like, I'm an entrepreneur. Like, what if one of my customers messages me? And I literally think I had 3 or 4 customers. So every day I'd go check my email. I'm like, nope, none of them messaged me. And I was always nervous that I'd miss like my one customer support email that might come through. So that's kind of where I got started at, like a lot of you guys. But at the time, I remember my first goal was I want to make $1,000 a month. If I made $1,000 a month, I'd be contributing to my marriage and my life, and that was kind of my initial goal. And looking back now, it makes me laugh, but that was it. In fact, it's funny, one of my buddies, Alex Hormozy, when he joined the Inner Circle, he told me, he's like, my goal is to if I can make an extra $20,000 a month, like that would be huge. And it makes me laugh because now they're doing an extra $40,000 a day right now. And I always laugh, I'm like, oh, your goal is to make $20,000 extra a month. Come on, dude. Like, when you understand the process, it's not that hard. So my goal was $1,000 a month. That was my lofty dreams as an entrepreneur. And about that time, we'd been married about a year, and it was the summertime. And every single year, my family, my parents, they have this place down in, it's called Bear Lake, and it's on the Utah-Idaho border. And every year we go down there for a little family reunion. And this is, again, back 12 years ago. So this is pre like cell phones, pre-wireless internet, pre-any internet almost anywhere. In fact, in the entire city of Bear Lake where we stay, there was no internet except for one spot, and it was the public library. And so we're down there, and same kind of thing. It's been like 2 or 3 days, sorry. We're having fun with our family, water skiing and stuff. And I'm like, I know that one of my customers might have emailed me. I need to check my email. And so I finally figured out that the library had internet. So one day I blocked out like an hour time and went to the library. And when I got there, it was interesting because there was 2 computers, and on the sign there was like a little paper sign like taped above that says like 10-minute limit. Please be cognizant of other people trying to use the internet. And there's like these lines of like 5 or 6 people in each one waiting for their turn on the internet. And back then the internet was dial-up, so it's like in 10 minutes maybe you could download your emails, and that was about it. In fact, my email address at the time was moneyforcollege@juno.com. I still remember that. So finally I'm waiting all frustrated. Like, I want to check my email, and I know I got to go because my wife's probably like, where are you at? So I'm kind of waiting, and finally, I get closer and closer, and finally it's my turn. I sit at my desk, open up Juno, I click download, and it's downloading the messages, and it's a little thing like, bleep, bleep, you're waiting, and all of a sudden emails start kind of popping in the little inbox, and I'm looking at them, and sure enough, none of my customers messaged me, none of them bought anything. I was like, oh, dang it. But then one email came through, and I still like to this day remember that email popped through, and the title of it, the subject line was something like, I did it, or we did it, or something. I can't remember the exact thing, and it was from a guy named John Reese. And I had known who John was. I knew that he was doing a product launch, and I didn't know, that's about all I knew. I didn't know the backstory behind it. But I opened the email, and as I started reading it, he told a story. He said that his goal when they did this launch was to try to make $1 million in a day. And I was like, okay, sweet. And I read that, and then as in the email he told that, he said, we launched this new course called Traffic Secrets. I launched Traffic Secrets, and what's cool is we made $1 million, not in a day, but we did it in actually 18 hours. And I remember sitting there in this thing, and like the entire world around me just stopped. And I remember seeing the screen, and I don't remember, it was like dark everywhere else, just the screen. I remember sitting back in my chair and just, for a moment, just sitting there and just realizing like, God, he made $1 million in a day. And I started thinking about the math. I was like, he was selling a $1,000 course, he sold 1,000 copies. I was like, my goal is to make $1,000 a month. I was like, what if I had a $1,000 course or something like that? And what if I don't think I can make $1 million in a day, but what if I sold 2 or 3 a day? In a year, I would make $1 million. And I was like, holy crap. I was like, well, maybe I can't do it in a year, but what if I do it in 3 years? In 3 years, I can make $1 million. And all these thoughts started going through my head, and all of a sudden, I believed that it was possible. And that was huge for me. It's interesting as looking back now to when that moment happened. I talked to other my friends who are in this industry who have had success, and for most of us, that was the moment when John Reese made $1 million a day. That was the moment that the 4-minute mile had been broken. And all of a sudden, because he had done it, we're like, oh, John's like us. Sure, he's a little smarter probably, but he's like us. If he can do it, we can do it. And so I shifted my goals, my mindset from $1,000, from $1,000 I want to make $1 million. And I don't know how I'm going to do it. The way ahead of me is completely blind. I have no idea, but that's my goal. And because I shifted my mindset, I started running that direction. Because I knew that John could do it, I knew that I could do it. And so because of that, I started running, and within a year, I hadn't made $1 million, but I got close. In the second year, I almost got, I think there was 2 or 3 years, I almost made $1 million. First million for me was the hardest. I made $1 million total, but $1 million in a calendar year was that was my goal, and I missed it 2 or 3 years in a row. And finally, the next year, I broke it, did $1 million in a year. And then since then, after I broke the first one, kind of comes back to this, the second million is way easier. Then we did it again. Eventually, we did it in a month, and then we did it in a week, then we did it in a day. And we've done it multiple times since then. But it was because John did it that I believed it. And so the real reason, if you look at why we created this 2Comma Club award, is not so much, the real reason I wanted these rewards on my wall, if I'm completely honest. But then after that, I was like, I want people to understand that it's not just me. We've got 17 on my wall. That's exciting, and a whole bunch of different markets. But who cares if Russell can do it? That doesn't help you at all. And so at the time I asked Dave, I was like, hey, can you export the ClickFunnels members? Let's say how many ClickFunnels members have made $1 million. And I thought there was gonna be a handful, maybe 5 or 6 people. And he pulled it out. He's like, dude, you're not gonna believe it. I'm like, well, how many are there? And he was like, at the time, I think it was 60 something. I was like, 60 people will become millionaires since they started using ClickFunnels? I was like, that was way more than I thought. And I was like, we should get 2Comma Club awards for everybody. We should do that. And so we got all excited and we kept doing that. And up until the last Fun Hacking Live event, we had a whole bunch of them. And some of you guys were there, you saw it. We actually handed them out. And we found out in the first calendar year, we had 93 people ended up making $1 million inside of ClickFunnels. 93 of you guys. And I wanted to put it out there for a couple reasons. Number one, I want you to understand that it's not just Russell. I'm not some magic genius. It's not John Reese. It's you. It's people like you. It's your peers. It's happening all the time. And I know that if you see that and you believe that, it becomes tangible and you're actually going to be able to do that. And I want you guys to understand that. In fact, in our office, I wish I could share it now, but we're wired up with cameras and stuff. So I brought a couple in here though. We send a big, huge version to every single person who wins one, and then we actually keep a small version here in the office. And so in the bathroom hallway, there's this huge white wall wrapped in these. We have 93 people. In the first 12 months, we put these in there. And what's cool is actually we had 11 people in the last month that have also won these. So it's happening not just once, but it's continuing to happen. 11 people this month hit $1 million. And here's a bunch of them. This is Anthony Morrison's, this is Simon Black's, this is Christopher, cool. These are all people like you, your peers today who understand that and have done it. And hopefully for you, that breaks the 4-minute mile. I want you guys to understand that's a thing it's not unattainable. I believe that anybody can do it if you have the right strategy behind it. Okay, so that's number one. All right, so with that said, what I want to do right now is I want to kind of go through these 3 secrets. Because when you understand these things, again, my goal is to make this so that this becomes so real and tangible, okay? Again, the title is how to finally get into the 2Comma Club in the next 12 months without the fear of falling into the gap again. So the first thing I want you guys to understand is how to give yourself a raise every single day. So this right here, this is a board. Now some of you guys know I have an inner circle group. It's $25,000 a year, and we have 100 entrepreneurs at a time, and right now it's closed down. I had probably 7 or 8 of you guys yesterday after the live messaging us asking how to get in. It's closed, I'm sorry. It's just not possible. But in those groups, this is what we talked about in our last meeting. You listen, a lot of, I've read a couple books that talk about like how do you grow when you scale businesses, right? And I was reading this one that talked about how to go from 0 to million, million to 10, 10 to 50, and 50 to 100. I was like, how interesting is that? And I started looking at the process, and they were talking about like the business structuring, like you gotta hire this person, and then you need these people in place. I was like, that's cool, but what about from the marketing standpoint? Like, you have to shift things you as the entrepreneur has to shift things. Like, the way you get from 0 to $1 million, like those skill sets are different than the million to 10 and to 10 and 10 and beyond, right? Or 9 and beyond. And so, like, understanding these. Now, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this part today, but I'm gonna explain it really quick so you guys have a picture of where you're going. But today I wanna focus mostly on this, because this is our goal. How do you guys get from wherever you are today to the 2Comma Club? That's our goal, right? That's my goal. That should be your goal for yourself as well. So that's the thing right here, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna fill this out as we go. I need a skinnier marker for this one though. Do we have here we go. Here's a skinnier marker. All right, I've got my note sheet here to make sure I don't forget anything as well. Okay, so as you look at this, the first goal is how to go from 0 to 7 figures, right? And what's interesting is I look at my business and I have a lot of friends that are in the spot right now. Like when I got to about $1 million, I plateaued and I got stuck there. And it's funny because as I've coached so many of you guys all had the same response that I had, which is wrong. So I'm hopefully coach you through that right now. My goal, I got to $1 million and I got stuck, and $1 million, I make $1 million a year, $1 million a year. And like, I kept getting stuck at that spot. I couldn't figure out how to like break that. So my first mindset was like, okay, I got one business doing $1 million. What if I had 2 businesses? Then I would do 2 million. So I like made a second business. We started launching. Guess what happened? It was crazy. This business started making more money and this business started dropping. And then at the end of the year, we look at our tax returns and guess what we made? About $1 million. So I'm like, crap, okay, well maybe if I have 2 businesses, what if I had 3? If I had 3, then we could double our business. So we had a third one, and guess what happened? This one went up, this one went down, this one went down. At the end of the year, we looked at our books and we made about $1 million. And so Genius Russell, instead of like seeing that something was wrong, that next year I was like, I'm gonna launch 12 businesses. Maybe then we'll get to $2 or $3 million. So we launched 12 businesses, and guess what happened? One did good, all the rest dropped, and we made about the same money again. I was like, there's something wrong here. I'm not sure what it is, but there's something definitely wrong here. And so I want to just walk you guys through, because as soon as I figured this piece out, we went from 0 to 7, 7 to 8, now we're racing to get to 9. It was by understanding a couple things, okay? So the first thing is understanding this piece right here, how to get from 0 to 7 figures a year. Now the first thing is you have to figure out this piece. Okay, the first year of business is all about selling, like learning how to sell. In fact, I call this phase right here, we call this the what and how. You're trying to figure out what are you selling and how are you selling it? Okay, the what and how. What are you selling and how are you selling it? Okay, and so what happened when I first started my business, I was like launching this company, some worked, some didn't work. I was trying all sorts of stuff, and some of them worked, right? For you as an entrepreneur, the first, when you're going from 0 to $1 million, it's all figuring out like what in the world are you actually selling? What do people want? Okay, we talked yesterday. We talked to you guys about creating offers and figuring out what the market wants, things like that. Like that's this whole first phase is you just figuring out what in the world you're selling and how are you selling it. Are you selling through webinars? Are you doing it through salespeople? Are you what are those things, right? And during this process, you're trying to figure out a couple different things. Now, if you've read the Expert Secrets book, hopefully this little thing looks similar, looks familiar to you, right? Okay, in this phase, what you're trying to identify is a couple things. You are trying to figure out what offers work and what business you're gonna be creating, right? Because you're typically gonna have to try a couple at first, right? And while you're in this process, you're trying to figure out these 3 things, right? Number 1, if this looks familiar for those at home, write down in the comments down below. Number 1, what do you have to identify? Who is the attractive character or the charismatic leader? I'll just write leader here, okay? Who is the leader? Number 2, what is the future-based cause? Number 3, what is the new opportunity you are making for someone? And inside of that, there's 2 ways to position it. One's an opportunity stack, and one is an opportunity switch, okay? And you are figuring out how to create your mass movement, okay? Does that look familiar? This is, right here, Expert Secrets book. Okay, if you do nothing else and you study and you understand this book, the goal of this book is to help you guys figure out what it is you are selling and how you are selling it. And in that process, building a mass movement of people, building a tribe of people, finding your voice, all the stuff we've been talking about is this phase here. As soon as you figure out this phase, then you can start going on to the next phase. But this is the goal. And the first business you create, the first offer, the first webinar is probably not going to work. Now, inside the Inner Circle, when we started this process, because when we started the Inner Circle, everyone was kind of in this phase. Most everyone has transitioned out of this phase, and this is what we're focusing on in the Inner Circle, and this is what I want to focus on with you guys, is mastering this piece. This is what we covered for the last 2 years inside the Inner Circle, every single day in and day out, with that group of entrepreneurs. And you guys have seen the results from them. In fact, it's interesting, there was one huge common thread of every single person that got on stage at Funnel Hacking Live that got a TwoComma Club award. I'd say probably 80% of them were Inner Circle members. So there's the thread. They figured out this piece, how to get from $0 to $1 million in a funnel. And it's figuring these things out. So how do you do that? In the Expert Secrets book, I talk about the process, okay? And the process comes down to this, how to give yourself a raise every single day. The way that we do it is we start this process, how do I explain this the best way? The model that we use inside the Inner Circle is I told everyone, and the same thing, when I launched ClickFunnels, this was my process. When everyone else is the same kind of process. Step number one is you come in there and you got to create your presentation, okay? Your webinar, your Facebook, whatever it is, like your sales presentation you got to create, and then you have to do it live every single week for a year. I tell everyone that. They're always like, well, I created my webinar, I put it out there, like, can I automate it now? I'm like, no, you can't automate it now. You have to go through this process over and over and over again until you master it. That's how you give yourself a raise every day. So this is the model. What we do is we figure out the day of the week that you want to do your presentation. Let's say for me, it's typically on a Thursday. So every single Thursday, you know that I'm going to be having people come to a presentation, or I'm going to sell them something. I'm going to figure out what exactly they want and figure out how to sell it. This is the what and how phase, right? And the first webinar you do is going to suck. It's not going to convert. It's not going to make you any money. It's going to completely fail typically, right? Because you don't know what people want. You don't know how to sell it. But you have to start somewhere. So we set up a webinar happening every single Thursday, and it's live. And you got Monday through Thursday morning to get people to come to this event where you have a chance to sell them something, to give them a presentation, to sell them something. Okay? And you're going to do it once. And the first week you do it, it's going to bomb. Second week you do it, it's a little better. And you keep doing that every single week. And if you do it consistently every single week for a year, you will figure this out. You'll figure out what you're selling and how you're selling it, and you'll be able to create your cause, and you'll be able to figure that whole thing out. Okay? This is phase number one in the process. I want you guys to understand that. It's interesting as I put that out there with ClickFunnels. Some of you guys probably know this story, but when we first launched ClickFunnels, a lot of people think it was a huge success out the gates. We launched it, and it bombed. And I was like, oh, we spent like a year and a half, a lot of money, a lot of energy creating this. Why did it bomb? And it's because I didn't know this. I didn't know what people wanted, and I didn't know how to sell it. So we created one funnel, it bombed, tried another funnel, it bombed, tried another funnel, and like after 4 or 5 funnels, I was discouraged. I'm like, this isn't gonna work. And I was just like, oh, this sucks. And then I had a friend who invited me to come speak at an event. He's like, you need to sell ClickFunnels. I was like, dude, nobody's buying ClickFunnels. He's like, really? What you have is amazing. I'm like, I know, but I can't, nobody's buying this stuff. Like, I know it's amazing, why aren't they buying it? And so he said, well, come to the event, I want you to make a $1,000 version of ClickFunnels and let's sell it at the event. I was just like, ah. So I sat down and I went through this process. I figured out what my offer was. I created a perfect webinar. I came to the event, and the room had probably 150, 200 people in the room. I came up and I did this presentation. It was the 5th or 6th try to figure out how I was going to sell this. I did the presentation. Something amazing happened. People in the room jumped up and started running to the back and buying. And as it was happening, I was like, oh my gosh. Like that was it. I figured out what they wanted and how to sell it. As soon as I did that night, we had dinner with the 4 or 5 people in the company at the time. It was a handful of us that were there. And we were at dinner talking, and everyone's excited. And I said, hey guys, do you want to hear something cool? That worked. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, that pitch worked. Like, I know it was cool. I'm like, no. Now that I know what to sell and how to sell it, like, we're going to blow this thing up. I said, you guys, we're all going to become filthy rich. Like, we know what it is now. And then what happened, it was cool. This is the learning lesson. That morning, I was leaving to fly home, and as I was leaving, somebody in the lobby bumped into me and said, hey, Russell, your presentation was so cool. I wish I could have bought your thing. I'm like, what do you mean you wish you could have? You don't have money or what? She's like, no, I have plenty of money. She's like, but your presentation was like teaching people how to build supplement funnels. I don't have a supplement. I'm a coach, so I can't use ClickFunnels. I was like, are you serious? Like, no, this works for coaches. Like, I'm a coach. I have funnels for coaching. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah. And I told her a couple things. She's like, are you kidding me? She ran in. She grabbed her and 2 of her friends. They grabbed an order from the field and ran it back and said, here you go. I didn't know this would work for coaches. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I took the things, jumped in the airplane, I'm flying home, and I was like, there's something wrong in my presentation. I did good, but like, it wasn't perfect. So I went through and I tweaked the presentation on the flight home. That next day, as I'm flying home, I'm messaging everyone like, this webinar is hot, let's start scaling this company. I know exactly what I'm selling and how to sell it now. I started messaging people. I'm changing the PowerPoint slides. That next morning, I did a webinar at 10 o'clock in the morning. I added those slides and I did the presentation, and we did really, really good. We did like $30,000 or $40,000 in sales on a live webinar. And I was like, yes, this is awesome. But then I was like, oh crap, I had another webinar 4 hours later. And so what I did is I exported all the questions that happened during that webinar. And I was like, okay, what are the things that are like the people got stuck on? I'm reading through them like, oh, people are confused here and they don't understand this. So I went back, tweaked my PowerPoint slides, got everything ready. 4 hours later, did the exact same presentation to a smaller audience. Only this time we didn't do $30,000 in sales. We did $120,000 in sales. I was like, oh my gosh. Guess what I did? Exported every single question. When I read through them all, saw what people got stuck, restructured my slides, did it again. For the next 77 presentations that I did live for ClickFunnels, it took us from $1 million to $10 million. I did a live webinar. Most weeks I did 4 or 5 a week, but I did at least once a week. And every single time I'd export the questions, change it, and tweak it. And every single time I did it, I was giving myself a raise. Figuring out the concerns, figuring out what to sell and how to sell, and got better and better and better. Okay? And so this is the first phase, you guys. It's understanding I'm not going to make $1 million tomorrow, but I need to figure out what am I selling and how am I selling it. And I need to try over and take a whole bunch of times about it. I got to try. It didn't work. Try it. It didn't work. Try it. Didn't work. And a bunch of times. And eventually it's going to work. I'm going to crack it out of the park. And as soon as you do, you're going to have the same conversation I had with my team that night. It worked. We know what we're selling and how to sell it. Now we're going to be rich. Okay? And being rich is cool, but it's even cooler is how many people can you serve when that works. Like that's awesome. So that's the first thing here. Now, because I know that this is an inevitable truth for you guys, it's going to be happening. I don't want you to do what happened to me next, okay? What happens to a lot of entrepreneurs. This starts working and you're freaking out and you're like, how do I start growing? And the first thought is always let's launch a second company, which is the wrong thought, okay? And it took me a while to get this. And the second step, the second phase is you shift from like, okay, I made $1 million in a funnel. What's phase number 2? How do I get to $10 million? It's not about creating more of these. You only need one business, okay? You will do better if you focus on one. And instead what you do, I call this thing right here the second phase, or the phase right here, this is called the creativity switch. T-I-V-I-T-Y switch. I'm shifting my creativity from figuring out, because usually entrepreneurs, we're so creative, we want to create stuff all day long. So you figure this out, you're being creative, trying to figure out what it is you're selling and how you're selling it, to figure out how are you as a leader, you're finding your voice, you're building out your cause, you're building like stuff's all happening. You figure it out. Now you shift your creativity from focusing on more things to the next piece here. Okay, and what we call this is phase number 2, which it's interesting. If you look at this, if you look at the Expert Secrets book, it's all about this phase right here. If you look at the .com Secrets book, it's all about this phase right here. Now we're creating front-end funnels and back-end funnels to grow your company. Now I wish I had more time to spend on this, so I'm going to go through this really quickly. This phase is all about shifting your creativity. Instead of building new businesses, is to build new acquisition, ascension, and monetization funnels, okay? So I'm going to write this right here. We've got, and this comes from Jay Abraham. He told me one time, there's only 3 ways to grow a business. Number 1 is getting more customers. Number 2 is getting them to spend more. And number 3 is getting them to buy more often. That's it. There's no other way to grow a company. So what do we call that? We call this acquisition funnels. This is some nerdy term for you. We've got ascension funnels. And we got monetization funnels. I'm not going to write the whole thing out. And right here, acquisition, monetization, and that. That's phase number 2 in your business. Okay? It's figuring out other ways to get people into your product, into your service. Okay? Acquisition, ascension, and monetization funnels. Okay, that's phase number 2. This is what the inner circle, what we're focusing on right now. Everyone's graduated from here. Now we're focusing on, okay, how do we get these guys to get more customers? How do we get these people to ascend higher? And how do we get them to buy more often? That's phase number 2 in your thinking. And then phase number 3, as you figure these pieces out, then it's shifting now to go from 8 to 9 figures. This is the thing that I'm focusing on our company right now. It's all about figuring out how to convert cold traffic. It's the third phase here. And kind of interesting side note, so John Reese, I mentioned earlier, who broke the 4-minute mile, he did it with a product called Traffic Secrets. And recently we actually just bought that company from him. And the reason why is probably, I'm not quite sure, but if I do book number 3 will be Traffic Secrets, and it'll be this phase. So you go from Expert Secrets to .com Secrets to Traffic Secrets. So that's kind of a cool side note. Only you guys who are listening know. Anyway, so I'm going to bring this down. I filled this whole thing out so you guys can see this is the process and the path. This is where we're going. Now, the key, you guys, here, secret mode, how to give yourself a raise every day. It's not about doing all this crap at once. It's about figuring this out. And it's going to take a little while to figure out the what and how. Like, what are you selling? How are you selling it? It comes down to not just like brainstorming in your office thinking. It's about putting out offers and trying stuff and getting up to bat and just trying things. Like the more offers you make, the faster you figure out what this is. And to figure out that, boom, you transition to acquisition, ascension, and monetization. You figure that out, and then you start shifting to creating customers through different traffic streams. That's the creativity switch that we go through as entrepreneurs, okay? And I'm doing this by every single day. What's the thing I can do to give myself a raise today? Okay, tweaking my presentation, changing this, changing the funnel, driving more traffic, figuring those things out. Here's the same thing. Okay, what's the funnel we can do on the front end? What's the monetization? It's just little tweaks every single day. For you as an entrepreneur, it should be the most exciting job in the world. Because every day you're coming in and figuring out, how can I get myself a raise today? It should become your mantra. You walk through the door, say, how can I get myself a raise today? Okay, what are we gonna do? Why is it not converting? What are we gonna, and just thinking little tiny things every day, trying to make little tweaks to give yourself a raise every day. Does that make sense? All right, cool. Now I want to transition now to secret number 2. So now you understand that this is the process to go from here to here to here. Now secret number 2 is really understanding that you are literally just one funnel away. Okay, I want you guys to understand this, because sometimes we think that, in fact, I did a Facebook Live with Justin and Tara Williams, who are in the Inner Circle, and it was interesting that they were flipping 100 houses a year, and they were trying to create this thing, and they couldn't figure out this piece. And for 8 or 9 months, they tried, they couldn't get it to convert, finally screw it, we're gonna stop. And then luckily they joined the Inner Circle, and we just made a couple little tweaks, and all of a sudden their funnel took off, boom. And within 8 months they'd made $1 million. So it's not something that's like in the real world, if you want to call it that, to get to $1 million, you have to go and you have to become a manager, and then you ascend up, and you're going through these levels, and hopefully someday you'll get these big jobs in 20 or 30 years. It's not like that. As soon as you get with them that works, it blows up. Dan Henry on Inner Circle, same thing. Struggled, wrote a webinar pitch that worked, boom, within 5 months made $1 million. So you're one funnel away. I want you guys to understand that. In fact, at the last Funnel Hacking Live, I did I can't remember, 60 or 90 minute presentation where I told just a whole bunch of stories about my one funnel away stories, like when I was failing or struggling. And it's interesting because for me, I've tried a lot of things. I've been doing this 14 years, and unfortunately not all my funnels work. I wish they did. In the beginning, most of them didn't. And I tried a whole bunch of little things. And I remember the very first funnel I ever had that got me to 7 figures was an unlikely thing. I've been selling all sorts of stuff, and in the interim, there was this guy, he'd written a book. Some of you guys may have the book. It's not in print anymore, but it's called The 12-Month Millionaire. And this guy made $100 million in 23 months. And I was I read this book, it's like a phone book. It's probably, there's one of my top 3 favorite marketing books of all time. So I read this book, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so the author, I actually messaged him, I was like, and then again, I'm a shy, nervous, awkward kid back then. I'm like, can I interview you? I have some questions. He's like, sure, man. And he let me interview him for 6 hours. I went through, I interviewed him on this whole thing. And it was just it was the most amazing experience ever to ask this dude who made $100 million how he did and what he did. He told me everything. So 6 hours, and he let me record it, so I recorded the whole thing. And then those recordings sat there for 3 or 4 years, didn't do anything. I'm trying to sell all sorts of different things, I'm trying stuff. And then one day I was like, God, interviews are so cool. I wonder if anyone else would want these. And so I made a little funnel for him, put him online, and we launched it. And that was the very first funnel we had that made $1 million. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was an interview. Who knew that was what people wanted? I didn't know that's what they wanted, but that was what, all the other stuff I was trying didn't work, but that was the one that people wanted. Okay, and from there we started growing a company. We built it from a few people up to over 100 employees. It was really, really big. And I'm not gonna go into all the details, but basically my entire company collapsed around me. We had merchant accounts frozen. We had people walk out on us. And it was about 3 years of the worst pain that I've ever experienced in this life, trying to not crash and burn and go bankrupt. It was this hard thing. And I remember how much significance we have as entrepreneurs tied to our business. And it's everything's falling and collapsing, and my friends, some of my family members were walking out on me, and everything's collapsing. We were in this big, huge 20,000 square foot building. The people that we had to leave our lease early, and they were threatening to sue me. We had the IRS coming after us for money. The whole world was collapsing around me. And I didn't even know how to pay rent. I didn't even know how to cover, we ended up going from 100 employees down to 10, and I needed money to pay for them, because if they left, I had no way to support all the stuff we had sold. And I was just I don't know what to do. And I remember it was the last night we were in our 20,000 square foot building. We cleared out all the desks, all of everything. And all I had was a laptop. I was sitting on the ground. I had my socks on. I don't know why, my shoes weren't on. I had my socks. I'm sitting there on the laptop, and I did a webinar, and it was kind of like a Hail Mary pass. I'm like, I gotta do something. We had a list of some people at the time. We promoted this webinar, and we did this webinar, and I was so scared because I didn't have time to prepare the slides right. And I was just but I knew the offer was good, and I tried it, and I did this webinar, sitting there lonely in my office late at night with just my socks on. And I did this webinar, and when it ended, I watched as sales started coming in. Boom, 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 boom. In the next 48 hours, we did over $250,000 in sales, which gave me the next money to go back to our team and say, look guys, we all have jobs for another week or two, longer than that luckily. And we gave them money, and that gave us the ability to breathe, to figure out what it is we're gonna sell and how we're gonna sell it, and get back to the basics. And that process has happened over and over and over again for me. And so when we talk about this, like you're literally just one funnel away, I leave it blank at the end because it's different for everyone. Like there was a time in my career where like I just wanted to funnel because if I had one, then maybe I could get people to buy something, and my wife and I could go out to dinner. And that was like all I wanted. And then when I had a funnel and did that, I was like, oh, this is so cool. Then I was like, I want to build a company. And then there was a funnel that took me to there. Twice I've been on the brink of bankruptcy in my business, and both times the funnel is what saved me and saved our company. Some of you guys, it's like you're trying to get out of a dead-end job, and like one funnel is the key to get out of that. Some of you guys, you're an entrepreneur, but you're not having the impact you want. You want to like get your message out to more people, and you're trying to figure out like one funnel could be the one thing that gets you to the next level. We talk about money all the time, but it doesn't really matter for a lot of us. A lot of us, it's mission and legacy driven. And one funnel shifts you from getting your message out to a few hundred people to getting out to the entire world. You probably saw recently we did a book launch for Expert Secrets. That book sold 50,000 copies in the first month. Like that impact got out there, and it was one funnel. One funnel got that message out there, and will continue to for the rest of my life and hopefully beyond. And that's exciting. Okay, so I want you guys to understand like you're literally just one funnel away. All right, now I want to transition to secret number 3, because this is something I want you guys to understand. The second million is way easier to make than the first. After you figure this process out and you don't do what I did 3 times and try to just keep creating new businesses. After you've got this, you got the foundation, what you're selling, how you're selling it, transitioning becomes really, really easy, okay? So this is a picture here I drew. I love doodling stuff. And this is the concept we always talk about, right? You're one funnel away. You're one funnel away. And then over here's this other concept we talk about, the 2 Club. And some of you guys are here and you're seeing that, you're hearing that and you believe it. You're like, yes, I'm one funnel away, and you're trying, and you're trying, and you're trying. And you're seeing all these people up here on the 2 Club, and you're like, oh, how do I get there? And you're trying stuff, right? It's not that you're not trying, not that you're lazy. It's like you believe it, you know it's there, but like so far your efforts keep falling you into the gap, okay? The title of this again is like, I want to show you guys how to finally get into 2 Club in the next 12 months without the fears of falling into the gap again. So what is this gap, okay? This gap's different for everyone. Right? Some of you guys, this gap is, it's like the funnel crashing, right? And I know you guys are, and like, there's a concept I like about unfinished bridges, right? And I'm curious how many of you guys relate to this. Think about back in your life where you first learned about the first shiny object got you excited. Let's say it was Amazon, right? You start doing Amazon, you start like ordering inventory, doing some stuff, you start doing some stuff, and something doesn't work, and you have like this half-built bridge that's coming up here, right? Half-built, and it doesn't work, and it falls into the gap, right? You don't quite finish it. Down here in the gap, there's like these mean sharks with teeth and like, there's your piranhas, right? And so you try building this thing and it failed, and you're like, okay, well maybe that's not working. I'm gonna shift this, I'm gonna try Google AdWords. You try that, it doesn't work. You try Facebook ads, and you have all these like half-built bridges that keep collapsing into the water, right? And it's because of that, a lot of us have fear. It's like, crap, like I don't want to fail again. Some of you guys, this gap is like, you run out of money, like, I don't have money, like this is my gap, right? Some of you guys, the gap might be, people you love not believing in you and doubting you, and like, all of us, we have these different things, right? And there's all these different gaps that are happening here that are keeping you from here to here, right? So for you to think about, well, what's the gap for you? What's that gap that's keeping you from this 2 Club? Is it knowledge? Is it technology? Like, and today, like now, it's easier than ever before. Before ClickFunnels, it makes me laugh. People are like, I pay $100 a month for ClickFunnels. That's a lot. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, do you not know what life was like before ClickFunnels? Okay, like for me to get one funnel done, it's 8 employees. That's like $250,000 a year if I pay them all like minimum wage, right? If they're good people, it's even more. Plus you got servers, bandwidth, it was so hard. Now it's like the technology's there, it's not hard. Is it the ideas? Is it what is it for you? Like there's something that's keeping you from there. I'm sure you're feeling that, right? Okay, but after you get here, it's interesting. Like after you make it to the 2 Club, okay, and you're up here, what's interesting is that you figured this stuff out right here. And the second time it's not that hard. It's like, cool, I got it. I can do it again. Okay, one of the big reasons why when I crashed and burned multiple companies over the years, that I wasn't too stressed out, because I did it once. I can do it again. Like I know the process, I know the path, I know how to get there. Okay, and I want you guys to understand here is that this is kind of cool. Like in our community, amongst you, it's not just one person, it's not just me saying, hey, come up here, it's awesome. Like 93 people in the first year, 11 last month, more coming every month. Like they've done this before. Now for them, if they were to jump back down here, it's not that hard to get back up here, right? Like, oh, I lost everything, cool, don't worry. I've done it before 1,000,000 times, I'm just gonna do it again. Because you've seen the process, the path, like you know how to get here. First time's always the hardest, but it's easier. And so my question for you guys is, what if there was a way where instead of trying to like figure this thing out, have these half-built bridges, instead of trying to be building a bridge and keep collapsing, what if there's a way to get these guys right here all of us, the community of people who are in the 2Comma Club to help you. And not so much you try to build a bridge to them, but us lowering down the ladder to you and saying, look, this is the path. Come on up. How many of you, if you had that, you know you could just walk right up it? Yeah, it's not that hard, right? But you have to have that. You have to have this community, people who've already done there, been there in the past and done it. What if there was a way doing it and come back, right? Instead of trying to like figure this thing out, have these happen. You got an echo coming over the speakers. I'm not sure why. All right, so that is the goal, you guys. This is where you understand, okay? The second million is so much easier. And now we have a community of people that have done this over and over and over again. It's not so much guessing, it's like a science. We know it. The bridge is here, and we want to lower it down to you guys. Does that make sense? All right, now what I'm going to do right now is I want to kind of recap what we've talked about, because if you guys understand this and you internalize it, it's going to make this path for you so much easier, okay? Secret number one, you got to give yourself a raise every day, okay? It's going to be hard. It's going to take a little while to figure this out, but we can help you to figure out what it is you're selling and how it is you're selling it. Okay, when you understand that and you get these pieces all put together, then it's very quick, and then it's transitioning to the next part, right? Number one. Number two is like, you're literally just one funnel away. When you understand that, like, it's not, you don't have to do a billion of them. Maybe you have to do 2 or 3, but eventually we're gonna find it. And the more we can help you, the more we can help you to identify, like, this is the one I should focus on and just do that one. Okay? If you can come down here and these guys up here, all of us here say, look, just do this one, that's the one, then you're not trying 50 different things and trying out. Like, you know exactly with absolute clarity which one to do. Right? And number 3 is the second million is way easier. After you've done this once, what I want you guys to commit to is after you've done it once, you've come up here, is I want your help to get more of us up here. Okay, 93 people is awesome. 11 this month's awesome, but that's not enough. Okay, my goal here on this earth is to help entrepreneurs give them the tools and the training that they need to get their message out to the world so that they can change the world. That's how I change the world. I don't have any ability on my own to do what you do. I wish I did. I wish I was as amazing as you, but I'm not. Like, I can't do what you do, so I need to help you to get up here so you can change the world in your own little way. Okay? So what I want to do is, first off, you guys commit that when you are here in the 2Comma Club, you're going to help me to get other entrepreneurs up here. You guys all committed to that? If you'll do that, we will help you to get there. Okay? So that's kind of the exchange here. You guys cool with that? All right, so what we did is we actually put together a program to help you guys to get to here. The more people we have here, the more people we can help to get to here. Okay, and I just want to the only way for me to change the world is to get more of you guys up here. Like, that's it. Okay, so I need you. So what we did is we put together a really cool coaching program. We're calling this the 2Comma Club Coaching Program to get you to here. Now, someday I want you guys in the inner circle. Like, this is the inner circle. This is what we're focusing on. We're not talking about this right now, but this is what we're focusing on, the inner circle. Right now, the inner circle is sold out. People could be asking me, how do I get in? The only way to get in the inner circle, honestly, right now, is to come into this program, and then we handpick people we like from here to send them up to here. Okay, when there's openings, and there's very often openings. That's the only way to get in the inner circle. So 2Comma Club Coaching is all about getting you guys to here, so you can come up here and you can start helping more people. Is that cool? You guys all right with that? So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna spend, actually, you guys okay if I spend about 5 minutes or so going through the 2Comma Club Coaching Program and how we can help get you guys from here to here? You guys cool with that? All right. So Mel, if you wanna bring that up. So we put together a special offer to help you guys to get there. Thank you very much. All right. So the first thing you're going to get inside the 2Comma coaching package, there's actually 2 different options here. And we did this because the inner circle is $25,000 a year, and then there's no openings. And we have one that's very intensive. We actually come here to Boise and hang out in this room with me and with our team to get this. It obviously is more expensive, so we also have a home study version that you can do at home. So we have 2 different options for you depending on what you're able to do right now. And so that's kind of the things you have to figure out what's going to make the most sense for you. Is that cool? So I'm going to kind of walk through. So the first thing you're going to get when you invest in 2Comma Club Coaching Program is you're going to get the home study version. Now, this is kind of cool. We did it on sticky notes. All right. So the first thing you're going to get is access to this thing that we call the Secrets Masterclass. Now, what is the Secrets Masterclass? This is something that I am so excited for you. So I've been doing this coaching stuff for now over a decade, right? And I've taught a whole bunch of stuff all over the place. And Stephen Larson, some of you guys know, he actually had a task 6 months ago to go through everything I've ever done from the beginning of time, watch every video, and go through it all and figure out, like, chronologically, what is the order that someone needs to go through to build this right the first time. And he went through, like, insane amounts of detail to figure out, like, hey, video, this one from this time to this time, he told that story the best. And then this one. We put it together into an 8-week course called the Secrets Masterclass. And what this is going to do is going to take you through the .com Secrets book, the Expert Secrets book, everything you need to get this foundation in place so that you can get into the 2Comma Club. Okay, right now we have just our inner circle members going through that, and like the feedback has been insane. Like they are all going nuts. It is the most in-depth coaching program on planet Earth to get you from here to here. So that's secret number one. You get the Secrets Masterclass, $4,997 value. Second thing you are going to get is a program we call Spy for Profits. Now, some of you guys have heard me talk about funnel hacking in the past, and some of you guys have the Funnel Hacks course. This is Funnel Hacking 201. This is how to go deep, okay? When you start transitioning to here and here, the more you understand funnel hacking, the better. This goes into how to funnel hack your competitors, traffic sources, copy, like all of the things. It goes so deep. This is the course, the total value of $2,997. It's in the members area today. You guys can dive in that tonight if you want and just really start geeking out on it. Number 3 here, the next thing you're gonna get when you invest today is you're gonna get access to the 6 months weekly coaching accountability calls. So the way it works is when you come in the Secrets Masterclass, you come in there, there's a module that's happening, and then every single Friday, Stephen Larson comes on the call, opens up the call lines, and you can ask any sort of questions you want. He helps figure things out, because if you're just kind of guessing and shooting in the air, sometimes you're gonna miss this, right? But you can actually get on the phone, on the coaching calls, and ask questions and figure out, like, this is what I'm trying to do. This is my what and my how. Is this good? Is this funnel right? Is it different? And Stephen will be coaching through the other members, people here in the 2Comma Club. Like, we're all here to help make sure you do this right the first time. Okay? Those are happening. You have 6 months to be on these weekly coaching accountability calls to help push you through this material, get your first funnel live, because you're just one funnel away. And when you get that funnel, this process becomes really simple and fast and easy. Okay? All right, then the next thing, so first thing you're gonna get the Secrets Masterclass, Spy for Profit, and then the 6 weeks of monthly coaching accountability calls. Next thing you're gonna get is a private discussion group. We've got a really cool Facebook group that's already in there. And the coolest thing is, like, most of my inner circle members are in there. So if you wanna hang out with these people who are here, they're already in there, hanging out, talking about this kind of stuff. And so you've got these guys right here that are in this group. You can come and you can talk, you can ask questions, and get coaching from the people that have already been where you wanna go, all right? And then the next thing here, if I can get the stickers. All right. Is you are gonna get access to something really cool. And this is the 2Comma Club members behind the scenes. So what we're gonna start doing here inside of this coaching program is every single week, we're gonna bring one of these guys on, and gals. We have a lot of women actually as well now too. And bring them on and let them come and, like, show you what they did. Here's what I did, here's how I did it, here's my funnel. I can't tell you how many times I see people asking, like, can I see the 2Comma Club members' funnels? I'm like, no, that's theirs. But right now we got a whole bunch of them who have committed to coming on and just showing you everything. Here's an open door to, here's my business, here's my funnel, here's my traffic sources, here's everything, and they're gonna come and show you. Now the one caveat to that is that if they're gonna open up the doors and show you what they're doing, then when you get here, I want you to be able to be willing to share with the other members as well. This is a group where we're all trying to ascend together. Does that make sense? Not people who are fighting and trying to hide over different products. And, like, we're trying to change the world. And the only way to do that is together, okay? So when you guys get to 2Comma Club, I just ask that you be willing to help participate in these as well and show people what you're doing, okay? So when you guys get the home study version, you're gonna get the Secrets Masterclass, Spy for Profit, the 6 week monthly coaching calls, the private discussion group, and the 2Comma Club members area. This is the home study version. If you look at this, you add up all the math on this. We've got total value of $12,558. Now, obviously, I'm not going to charge you guys $12,558, but I'm curious. Let's just say that we did. Let's say that the total, like, I actually charge you $12,582, and you're going to get all of this. You're going to have a chance to spend 8 weeks going through everything I've ever taught and trained in chronological order to get you to get this, and you were able to go through the process to get to 2Comma Club. Would it have been worth $12,000 to get you into 2Comma Club? Yeah, that's pretty much the greatest ROI in the history of planet Earth, right? If you were to go through this process and all it did was help you to get your message, the thing that you know needs to get out in the world and get out to more people, would be worth $12,000. Yeah, like, we spend more on that every single day on Facebook ads trying to get my message out. Like, it is definitely worth that. And so I want you guys to understand that. But we're not going to charge you guys $12,582. If you guys want to, the home study version, I don't know if you'll be able to see this here on the board or not. But what we're gonna do is gonna be really cool. It's just one payment of $1,997. That sound more than fair? Like, literally $2,000. Like, how much crap have you wasted on $2,000? What's interesting about this too is, like, I have people sometimes like, that's a lot of money. But if you think about this, the cool thing about money is, like, every single month money comes back, right? For those of you who have a job, what happens every 2 weeks? Every 2 weeks, like, you get more money. Paycheck comes and money replenishes over and over and over again, right? It's kind of this really cool process. But what's interesting is, like, the one thing that doesn't replenish is our time. Like, if you guys go and you try to build a bridge and it fails, you try to build a bridge and you try to build a bridge, you could spend a month, 6 months, a year and a half, 2. In fact, how many of you guys have been trying this for a while? How many of you guys have been trying to get to 2Comma Club? And I'm curious, like, how long has it been? and we had our Funnel Hacks event 3 or 4 months ago, like that time, when you set that as a goal, and the time that it's been trying to get there, like that time's gone. You can't get that back. Okay, the money's gonna keep coming back, it's gonna keep replenishing, especially after this thing launches, like you'll make that back in your first day or so, but your time can't, this money comes back. I want you guys to understand that. So that's option number 1 if you want to do the home study version, okay? Now for some of you guys, like you love the home study version, but you're like, oh, I want to just connect into everything, Russell. I want to come to Boise, I want to hang out here in this room, I want you to look at my stuff, I want Steven to help build the funnel, like you want everything. So if you want that, we also have an intensive in-person workshop that ties with this. Let me walk you through that. So the first thing you're gonna get when you invest in the in-person one is obviously you're gonna get the entire online program. So you're gonna get all of this, that will be there as well, so you already have all that. Okay, so step number 1, in fact, before you come to the live event here, you have to go through the first 8 modules. Okay, that's like a criteria. That way you have all the foundations, so when you show up here, we can get to work. You already have figured out your message, your positioning, all that stuff will be figured out. So when you show up to Boise, it's just like, let's plug this stuff together and rock and roll and get this thing live. Okay, so that's number 1, you're getting the entire online program. Number 2, what you're gonna get is you're gonna get access to our Fill Your Funnel program and actually traffic secrets as well. So what is Fill Your Funnel? This is a program we sold for over $3,000 at our live event. This is helping you to get people into your funnels. After the funnel is created, the way you scale is getting more people in. Okay, now this is a year-long program that we're going through, teaching you exactly how to get people into your funnel. The training's already started. The whole foundational stuff's already online, and right now we're shifting around. The first module is coming about 2 weeks, going deep into Facebook ads, and we're going deep into YouTube, and all the stuff we're doing to fill our funnels. What's cool about it is like, we learn about it, we fly in the best experts in the world here to Boise, and you guys have a chance to look as a fly on the wall as we actually learn from them, and then we implement it, and then Nora, on our team goes through and builds out all these traffic systems so you can take those and your team can implement them to get traffic into your funnel. So you can get that. Also, I mentioned recently we purchased Traffic Secrets from John Reese. We're gonna give you access to that members area as well, which has how to get traffic from over 125 different sources, which is insanely cool. So the total value, that's $997. You'll get the Fill Your Funnel training course. Now those of you guys who already have Fill Your Funnel, we have a huge discount for you, so don't worry about that. But if you don't have yet, I wanna make sure you have it, because this is all about structuring, getting your funnel done. This is about filling your funnel with traffic. Then the next phase here is actually coming here to Boise for a 3-day in-person funnel hackathon event. We call it the Funnel Hackathon or the FAT event, F-H-A-T. That's here in the Boise ClickFunnels. It's a 3-day event. We do about once a quarter. So far, we've only done them for Inner Circle members, the only ones who have had a chance to come. You'll have a chance to come to one of these as well, but not until you finish the online program. You finish the 8 weeks, and then you're qualified to come to one of the 3-day FAT events. So what is the FAT event? What does it look like? How does it feel? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cue up a video really quick right now. It's about a 3-minute video. It's gonna show you what happens here at the FAT event. This is a video from the very first one we ever did. And while you're watching this video, I want you to imagine you sitting in this room, because this is the room. Like imagine sitting right there next to Kaylin, next to Brandon, next to Alex, next to all the people that we've been talking about who are already here. My Inner Circle members are coming to these events anyway. You'll be sitting next to these people. They'll be sitting in the chair next to you. And just imagine yourself sitting here, experiencing that with them together as you watch this video.
ClickFunnels, 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 ClickFunnels. Like, again, so cliche, but it's a f***ing game changer.
Funnel Hacking Live is the one event that you need to be at. Having the skill set of knowing how to build funnels is the single most valued skill set.
I think there's a difference between watching it done and actually doing it yourself. I would say that that's the main difference.
Funnel Hackathon is super 100% hands-on. It's literally, here's what we need to do. Now we're all gonna do it together. Like there's none of that when I fly home tomorrow, because it's done.
This event is most suited for people who want to accelerate their story to the market.
You're really developing something. You're leaving with something very tangible.
This will give you the right mentality to be able to succeed no matter what industry.
You know, when you have Russell around you all the time, all of a sudden, things don't seem unrealistic. It's just like, I can do this.
You enter his world where he is, and you can just see him in action. And the great thing, that action is within your business.
It's nonstop. I mean, we were at it from 9 a.m. to midnight, just learning, implementing, sharing.
It's so cool that I'm gonna leave with a product that's going to make me a lot of money.
And here it's like a totally safe, vulnerable space where you can just be like, I suck at this stuff. What am I supposed to do here? And then you have guys who have done exactly what you want to do or have done 10 times anything you've ever thought of right there next to you saying, hey, have you thought of this? Do you think that would work for you? And you're like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like, I should start doing that. I learned more in that compressed period of time than I had in almost the 2 years of being inside of ClickFunnels.
I would pay any amount of money if I could come back and do that every month or two.
So if you're looking for an opportunity to work with amazing people and work under the guidance of somebody who really knows what they're doing and be able to get things done, it's unbeatable.
If you hate money, then this event is not for you, because it's just going to get you more money and you're going to make an impact in the world doing what you love most.
All right, you guys getting this? Can you imagine being in this room during that experience? Like, it was the most intense thing I've ever gone through. In fact, we're doing another one of them next week with a group of our Inner Circle members. And then after that, you're gonna be welcome to come and experience that as well, which is the coolest thing in the world. So I can't even wait. So if you go through what's happening in the intensive one, first off, you get the entire online program like we talked about before, everything we talked about here. Second, you get the fill your funnel and the traffic secrets, so you can get funnel traffic into your funnel for the next 12 months. Number 3, you can come to the 3-day live funnel hackathon. Total value of this is $40,579. And if you ask my Inner Circle members, they say that that's pretty close to what they actually spend to come in here to do this. You guys are gonna get it at a huge discount. In fact, you're gonna get all the stuff today. The total cost for just one payment of $14,997. So that's kind of the 2 different package options. Now I got 2 more things I want to show you for those of you guys who get started this weekend, because basically we're going to be closing this down before the FAT event starts on Monday, so we can start focusing on serving everybody coming through here. But those of you guys who get started in the 2Comma Club coaching program, who know that you're here, you know you want to be here, you know that your peers, your future friends, and everyone who has done this is going to be helping you, want that. And I want you guys to come here. I'm going to give you guys 2 really cool bonuses if you get started in the next 48 hours. So the first thing you're going to get is this week we've been filming the Secrets Masterclass. This is a product I'm going to be selling for $997 here in the very near future. As a bonus, you guys will get the entire course will be inside of the members area. That means you'll get everything that's been happening over the last 3 days, the recordings all put inside there. You'll get the entire product for Expert Secrets Masterclass, total value of $997. And then the last thing I'm going to give you guys who get started today, and this right here, you get this bonus if you get either the home study or the in-person. So this comes for either of them. The second thing is, just because this was kind of the theme of getting into Comma Club, this book right here, The 12-Month Millionaire, is again one of my favorite marketing books of all time. It's out of print, but when they stopped selling it, the printer was actually printing these for the author. He messaged me basically, I'm stuck with the warehouse of like 400 or 500 of these things. Do you want them? And so I bought them from him at a huge discount. So I actually have a bunch of these sitting in a warehouse. For any of you guys who get started this weekend, at either of these levels, you will get, like I said, the Expert Secrets Masterclass course will be in your members area, and you also get the 12-Month Millionaire book and workshop, which means you're gonna get the book plus the 6-hour interview I did with Vince James, asking him everything. Now, I wanna make sure you guys understand when you do watch this, this was like 10, 12 years ago. I was shy and nervous and awkward, so don't make fun of me when you listen to it, because I was definitely awkward. It wasn't Russell that you know today, but what he taught me there has been insanely valuable in any business. Doesn't matter if you're selling supplements like he was, or coaching, or info products. Like, it's one of the best books on marketing ever. And the only way to get it is by investing in one of these things. So you get the 12-Month Millionaire course and the Expert Secrets Masterclass course when you invest in either of these 2 within the next 48 hours. And so that's kind of it, you guys. So if I walk through this one more time, the way to get started, we'll put the link down below. All you gotta do is go to 2CommaClubCoaching.com. When you go to 2CommaClubCoaching.com, there'll be a real quick video there, me talking about this. You're gonna opt in, and then these 2 options will be there, and you have a chance to pick which one you want. And like I said, if you already have the Fill Your Funnel, there's a discount option for those who, and that way you already prepaid for that, so you don't have to have that as well. But those are the 2 options. $2,000 to get the home study course version, or $14,997 to get that, and you also get these other 2 bonuses as well. But there is urgency and scarcity. And a couple of reasons why I'm doing this. One is to train you guys. This is the most important thing in every offer, is urgency and scarcity. It has to be real. So what happens in 48 hours, this offer will be gone. If and when we open this up in the future, these 2 bonuses will be gone forever. They will not be part of it in the future, which means you can't get them. The only way to get these 2 things is by investing right here, right now. And the way to do that is go to 2CommaClubCoaching.com to get started. Now, while you guys are going there and you're getting signed up, I just want to kind of have some just straight talk with you guys, if that's cool, okay? I've been doing this game for a long, long, long time, okay? This is not something that I just made up yesterday. We've written 2 books on the topic. We've helped, the first year, 93 people make over $1 million and get here. Last month, we've helped 11 more, and I want you to be one of them. And I want you to understand, like, the biggest thing is if you understand, like, this is possible for you, then there's no reason why you shouldn't do it. If you don't think this is possible for you, then you should stop right now. You should return the book, you should turn this thing off and just be done. But if you know that this is possible for you, if you know you have a message or a product or a service or a gift or something that you have to help change people's lives, and you know that this is where you're going and you have perfect certainty that you're gonna make it there, $15,000, what's the percentage off of $1 million? It's like a fraction of a percent. Like I'm talking about an ROI that if you were to take that anywhere else in the world would be the most insane thing in the world, okay? So I'm not asking you guys for half of your business. In fact, back in the day, what we used to do is I used to help people build funnels like this. I would charge them $100,000 cash up front just to engage us in the services, and I made 10% of every single sale, not the net, but the gross, 10% of all the sales we got until I had been paid $1 million. And people were lining up. In fact, we had 7 people so far this year that have asked for that, and we told them no because I don't do it anymore. This is the equivalent. I'm not charging you $100,000 and 10%. All we're charging you is the money to basically so we can do this and we can serve you at the right level. Okay, I had to dedicate people and time and effort and all these things, and so this is the cost to get in, but it is a fraction of what you would come at over here. So if you're over here and you're like, I don't think I can ever make 2Comma Club anyway, it's gonna be so hard, and it's gonna take time, I have to think, and blah, 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 blah. If that's you, fall in the gap, give up, go back to get a job. Like that's honestly how I feel. But if you know this is where you wanna be, this is where you wanna go, like you need to have absolute certainty and act as if you already have done that, okay? And know that you can get there, and then when you look at that, the investment becomes insanely cheap. $2,000 to get you the 2Comma Club, are you kidding me? $15,000 to come to Boise and hang out with us and help you even more to get there? Like anyone who doesn't see the value in this, like honestly, it's because you don't believe in yourself. So I want you to sit back and really think, like, do you believe in yourself? Do you think if you had the right tools and the right training and the right mentorship and the right people to take you and hold you by the hand and get you there, do you think you could do it? Like if you don't think you can, then this is not for you. But if you know that you've got the skills, the talent, the ability, you just need some help, you just need some coaching, some mentorship to get here, and this is for you. Now some of you guys may be looking like, Russell, I can figure this out on my own, I'm a genius, I've read the books, I'm gonna do it. And that's true, you can do it. And who knows, it might take you a month, 6 months, a year, some of you guys might be really fast. Dan Henry figured it out, did it in 5 months. Okay, maybe that's you, I hope that's you. And so I still want you to come back and help coach these people. But for most people, like there's a lot of pieces the first time around. The first million's tough, you gotta figure out all this crap. But after you figure it out, it's easy. Second million, third million, all the rest become really, really easy. But this first one's the toughest. And so what I want to do is I just want to take you by the hand and help you. I'm going to help get you here because after you made $1 million, it becomes easy. Okay? And like I said, after you've gotten here, then right now in the inner circle, again, we do not accept people. There's no public application. In fact, if you apply, it redirects you to this page to sign up for this. And then what we do is we handpick the people in this room that we like. People that we think can come here and go to 8 and to 9, that we handpick the people when there's openings. So the only way to get to this group, there's 2 ways. Number 1, is get to know these people inside of here because they're the ones helping with the coaching. And number 2 is come through this program, come here to Boise, and the right people, we will ask you and invite you to come to the inner circle and to continue to be here. But the biggest thing, you guys, is just understanding like, this is not that hard, but it makes, when you have someone there to help you, it's so much easier. And yes, I know you can figure it out on your own, but I don't want you guys to waste the time and the energy and the effort. I want you guys to do it today. I always tell people like what would it have been worth for you to be successful 6 months ago or a year ago? Where would you be today? Right? There's a Chinese proverb, I mentioned it in the book. You know, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but what's the second best time? Second best time is right now. So right now you guys have that opportunity and that option to become part of this and to work with us, with me and my team and other people who've already been here, and the option is down below. You gotta go to TwoCommaClubCoaching.com. We have both ways. If you spell it wrong, you still get to the right place, hopefully. And when you go there, there's 2 options. Number 1 is the home study version. And again, right here, you can get the Secrets Masterclass, you can get the Spy for Profit, you can get the accountability calls every single week, you get the private discussion group, you get the 2Comma Club members behind the scenes, all that for just $2,000. Or if you know you want to come and actually be here in Boise and hang out with us in the inner circle and everybody else, then that's over here, the 2Comma Club in-person training. You get the entire online program. So all of this again, plus you get to fill your funnel. For the next 12 months, we'll be helping you get people into your funnel, help scaling your traffic. You become the fat event. And like I said, the last thing for any of you guys who get started before the weekend is up, we got 2 other bonuses. Number 1 is the Expert Secrets Masterclass. Some of you guys have been seeing me film parts of this week. When it's done, it'll be gone. And the only way to get it right now is being part of this. Other than that, you gotta wait a couple months. We'll be launching this at $997. You get that as well. And like I said, the 12-month millionaire course, $997. This one's not available anywhere and probably will never be again. These 2 bonuses disappear at midnight for forever. And that's kind of the game plan. So my question for you is this. Are you guys ready? Are you ready to take that step, take that leap of faith? Not hoping that you're not going to fall into the gap, but having us handing you down the ladder and showing you the way. Okay, after you do it, you guys, it's easy. But you gotta do it once. And think about this, like you can do it for yourself, but after you figure out for yourself, you can do it for other people. Rachel Peterson, who's in our inner circle, like one of the coolest people I've ever met, she went from really, really struggling in life to, she had a funnel that blew up. She's hugely successful right now. And she joined the inner circle. She paid $25,000 to be in the inner circle. After the first meeting, she went back home. She launched something that made $250,000. So she's 10 extra money after the first meeting, which was awesome. But then she sent me a Vox message, and this was like emotional for me. And she showed me a picture, and it was her teaching this stuff that she now knows to her family members. She said, "This is my family who's been on welfare there for generations, and they've struggled." She said, "This is a picture of me teaching them value ladders and funnels and all sorts of stuff." And I'm sure she was emotional. I was emotional, like, oh, like, how cool is that? Like, now that she's here, how many people can she help? And I told her, I said, Rachel, I don't know if you understand this, but like, a lot of people, like, they get into these funks where, like, especially in like families, like generation after generation, they're struggling, but then like one person comes along and they break that chain. And then from that point forward, for the rest of time, like their posterity, their family, their kids, like, have a completely different trajectory because of one person who changed things. And because Rachel said, look, I'm gonna change things. Like, look how it's gonna affect not just her customers, but her family, and then their kids and their kids. And people are gonna look back for generations and be like, oh, Rachel was the one that broke it for us. And I want that to be the same thing for you. Because after you're here, you guys, it's so much easier to come back. You know when you're sitting in the airplane, you're flying around, like the little bags drop down, and they're like, make sure you put your own air mask on first before you help your kids. Because then when you put in your kids' thing and you die. So this is all, like, we're getting you your air mask, helping you figure this out. After you know it, you guys, it's not that hard. You can come back and you can help person after person, help other companies, help your own, help other people, help your family, help your kids, help your loved ones. Like, these tools, these skill sets you're gonna learn are things you can teach and coach and help other people do as well. But we gotta get you here first. We gotta put that life mask on you first, then you can help other people. And this is how we do it, you guys. This is how we go from being one funnel away, which I know that you guys feel that. I know you've seen that over and over and over again. I can tell you hundreds of stories of people who struggled, and one funnel was the thing that got them here. Okay, you're one funnel away. This is your group, this is your mentors, this is your coaching, this is all the people who have done it before, reaching down and showing you the past, and come up here and hang out with us, okay? And I want you guys to hang out. I want you here in Boise. When you were here, like, it's kind of cool streaming live, right? Can you imagine if you're sitting right there? You say, Russell, I have a question. I'm like, oh yeah, just change this. Dude, your offer sucks. If you change this, it's awesome. Like, oh crap, that fast. Like, you can't get that anywhere else besides here. That's why I wanted to do this for you guys. So again, the last time, the 2Comma Club coaching package, there's two options. Number one is the home study version. Come through here. Secrets Masterclass, Spy for Profit, monthly coaching calls, discussion groups, 2Comma Club members area, $2,000 here. Or if you want to come to the FAT event as well, you get an entire online program, fill your funnel, and the FAT event. $14,997 plus you get, any guys who get started before the weekend's out, you'll get free access to the Expert Secrets Masterclass, and then also free access to the 12-month millionaire coaching program, which is no longer for sale anywhere except for you get it for free when you guys get started right now. Does that sound more than fair? Cool, then right now down below, go to 2CommaClubCoaching.com. While you were doing that, I'm gonna play some videos of other people who've gone through this process before you. If I haven't convinced you today that it's possible, I want some of these guys right here to tell you their stories, because after you see it, and you realize that they are just like you. They don't have superpowers. They're not smarter or better looking or faster or stronger or anything. The only thing they have different is they've done it. And they ought to go through this path as well. But now they've done it once, it's not that hard. And they can help you. I can help you. We can help you. And it's all happening through the 2Comma Club coaching program. Because when you guys are here, together as a group, we can change the world. I honestly believe that, and that's why we're doing this. Not that we need more money, okay? I make my money from ClickFunnels. I'm completely fine. This is about you. This is not about me. Whether you sign up for this coaching program or not, it's not gonna change my life at all. I will have zero impact on how it changes the quality of my life. Not one thing will change. I'm not gonna go out to dinner more often. I'm not gonna buy a bigger house. Like, I'm good. This is not about me at all. This is about you. How's it gonna change the quality of your life? How's it gonna change your future, your legacy, everything you're trying to do and trying to accomplish? That's what this is about. Okay, so you gotta look at yourself in the mirror and think, God, do I honestly believe I can do this? If so, then come join us. Because we're all here, we've done it. We want you to do it too. Come hang out with us, and together we're gonna change the world. And that's it, you guys. Thanks so much for being here. Again, go to 2CommaClubCoaching.com. And for some of you guys, you'll be jumping into this tonight and start going through the modules. Some of you guys will be here at the next FAT event hanging out with us. I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to meeting you, seeing you, and helping you build your mass movement. And then we can start shifting and keep on moving you through the process. Thanks again, you guys, so much. I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with us. Go to 2CommaClubCoaching.com right now, and I'll see you guys soon.
ClickFunnels.
ClickFunnels.
ClickFunnels like funnels.
ClickFunnels.
ClickFunnels? Like, again, so cliche, but it's a f***ing game changer.
Funnel Hacking Live is the one event that you need to be at. Having the skill set of knowing how to build funnels is the single most valued skill set.
I think there's a difference between watching it done and actually doing it yourself. I would say that that's the main difference.
Funnel Hackathon is super 100% hands-on. It's literally, here's what we need to do. Now we're all gonna do it together. Like there's none of that when I fly home tomorrow, because it's done.
This event is most suited for people who want to accelerate their story to the market.
You're really developing something. You're leaving with something very tangible.
This will give you the right mentality to be able to succeed no matter what industry.
You know, when you have Russell around you all the time, all of a sudden, things don't seem unrealistic. It's just like, I can do this.
You enter his world where he is, and you can just see him in action. And the great thing, that action is within your business.
It's nonstop. I mean, we were at it from 9 a.m. to midnight, just learning, implementing, sharing.
It's so cool that I'm going to leave with a product that's going to make me a lot of money.
And here it's like a totally safe, vulnerable space where you can just be like, I suck at this stuff. What am I supposed to do here? And then you have guys who have done exactly what you want to do or have done 10 times anything you've ever thought of right there next to you saying, hey, have you thought of this? Do you think that would work for you? And you're like, oh my God, that's amazing. I should start doing that.
I learned more in that compressed period of time than I had in almost the 2 years of being inside of ClickFunnels.
I would pay any amount of money if I could come back and do that every month or two.
So if you're looking for an opportunity to work with amazing people and work under the guidance of somebody who really knows what they're doing and be able to get things done, it's unbeatable.
If you hate money, then this event is not for you, because it's just going to get you more money and you're going to make an impact in the world doing what you love most.
I've been working with dentists for about 10 years. And I've helped set up practices for doctors all over the place and some really cool success stories. After 10 years and 7 days, I wrote this book and it became a bestseller, and it was very specific just for dentists in the dental niche to give them a step-by-step proven path to go find a location for their practice. But I still didn't have that kind of platform to grow it exponentially beyond myself and beyond my own unproven efforts, kind of dabbling with systems and dabbling with marketing. I got an invitation to a webinar with this guy named Russell. There was a picture of him like this or something on a picture. It said, I made $17,000 a day on a photo. So I clicked and I listened and I thought, this guy's crazy. But that sounds really interesting and it doesn't really apply to me, but it sounds like this guy from this webinar has some ideas that I could apply to my business. When I was making the decision to sign up for the Ignite program, I actually didn't even know what I was signing up for. There was this sort of understanding that there was this future result that I believed they could get me to, and I had no idea how to get there. And I remember asking Randy on the phone, how are we gonna get there? And he said, well, we've got all these other team members, we got these people, this one guy buys Facebook ads, this other guy does strategy, this other guy helps build pages. And I was like, those all sound really good. I guess this is for me then. I have people who I can call now on the Ignite team who take care of Facebook ads and help me understand what to do. People who help me build pages really well. In connecting with Russell directly, asking him about specific copywriting questions or specific ways to deliver presentations that I'm putting together. But they're able to see what's working, and I'm able to kind of jump on that train with them and apply it to my industry so that my business can make more revenue, so I can provide really well for my family, so I can save for my future, and now so we can make a bigger impact across the world with things like bringing our clients into third world countries to serve them really well. The Ignite program for me isn't just advice. We've got new contracts just since that 7-month point. Those new contracts are over $1 million in new contracted revenue, which I don't say that to brag, but it's my way of kind of thinking, holy crap, this is really working. Like, not only are we delivering amazing results and getting fantastic testimonials from people and high fives from our clients and big bear hugs, and they're putting us on their Facebook pages as thank yous for what we're doing. Those kinds of things are awesome. And we have this metric called revenue that shows that people are responding to what we're doing and they're liking what we're doing. And I'm 100% sure that this new trajectory of revenue for us would not have been possible if I didn't pursue the path with the Ignite program. It's been really good.
Most people are looking for a job that has meaning. And in a way, it's like that's what I'd been looking for and seeking and ultimately found. And it was a role where I was working for this amazing entrepreneur. I got married, I was starting a family, and I had two wonderful daughters with my wife. But in that work, the goal that I had sought for myself and succeeded in, to do good work and have meaning, was actually pulling me away from the thing that mattered the most, and that was my family. So I was traveling, I was not mentally there, I was always, at work in a sense. And so I really felt it one moment when December of 2012, it was just enough pause to have a little bit of reflection outside of these 70, 100-hour weeks. And I was with my family, my wife and my two girls, and I basically realized in my future thinking, which is what I do, I saw that they'd be gone. I basically went back after the Christmas break and I resigned from this position that I felt was success because I knew I had to do it for my family. I was lost basically, because my identity and my pursuit had been so clear. And I didn't know where to start. Like, how do I continue again? What do I do? I did all these certifications and conferences. And then what was interesting is that in your journey, it's almost like reevaluating your environment, right? Like, who's out there? Who can you trust? And then this guy named Russell, right? It was a webinar. I'm like, why am I watching this? But I couldn't take my eyes off of it. And not only that, I couldn't keep my wallet in my pocket. The way Russell spoke in this webinar, it connected me. As I got deeper, I realized, man, this is really good stuff. And he is very sincere in his values and his mission, and that inspired me. So then I basically went to the events, the live events, got certification, and then ultimately, again, I did something I thought I'd never do, and that was Inner Circle. 2 years without income is not easy, no income. And again, it was intentional because I felt I needed that space. I knew if I got another job, I would be lost again. The 2 years with my wife supporting me, no income, I told her, remember that guy? There's this program happening and it's like, it's $25K. And again, like, she worries about $150. And when I said that, thinking about the support, and I think that's so awesome, and I think that's where when she said yes, and I was still not sure, right? It's like it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. I mean, we basically got creative, to basically support this journey, and for her to say yes when she worries about a cup of coffee, it was huge. So first time in anything like a mastermind for me. I prepared like a corporate presentation. And so when I stood there with my note cards, it's funny because I totally blanked. Because there was a struggle between me being who I was and doing the corporate presentation and me being who I could be to just basically let it go. And that's when I started to talk. And I actually feel like half of it was like just gibberish, like I was tripping over myself because I was letting feelings come out as well as well-processed thoughts at the same time.
I spent most of my life in corporate and startups, like Silicon Valley startups.
Garrett, he read me and he just basically challenged me to just change who I thought I was at the moment. So I had a jacket on. He said, take your jacket off, and and then I had a folder in my hand because I was doing that corporate thing and I was thinking about bringing it. And I put the folder on the ground and he's like, do 10 push-ups.
Do some push-ups real quick. Seriously, get down. Do like 10 push-ups real quick. You're all
At the last push-up, when I got up, it wasn't even me. It was like my future me.
But I knew I had to leave the office forever.
Basically, I think what it was all the preparation came out after I stood up after that 10th push-up.
We're having an event at Alcatraz. I'm going to teach you how to escape the office forever. I'll give you a blueprint. And my goal is to get you 6 figures at some point in your journey so you never have to go back.
And it was pretty magical. It really was. And what it really showed me was the potential, right? It just kind of gets me a little bit because it was the potential of what's possible. What I know more than ever from yesterday is like it's a no-brainer now. But you wouldn't feel that until you got here, right? It's a no-brainer because it was what I needed to basically get to another level. The ability to come here, make that investment, and see then, right off the bat, within hours, what happens, and I'm still in it for a long time, I guess. So what a deal this is, because what comes after that hug is, did you do it? And I'm already thinking that, right? Like, they gave us great ideas about the experience in a retreat, and I know I can just hear it and I love it, but it's like, hey, did you get it done, right? So it's that support, but also the tough love, to say, now you got to do it, man, and in a way, like, we've done our job, we're here to support you, what are you going to do? It wouldn't have happened without any doubt, without that webinar, without, the journey, without Russell, Inner Circle, the people that he's brought into the room. So it was quite an event.
So I want to tell you something. Hiring Russell Brunson was bar none one of the best decisions I've ever made in my entire life. And I want to tell you that when you work with him, he takes you on this journey that you won't even know that you're going to go on. Like at the very beginning, I had all these hopes and dreams and visions, and I honestly thought that, yay, I'm working with the overnight success maker, and I thought, whoa, I'm gonna make like $500,000 in the first month of working with him. But you know what, the eventuality is that sometimes in life it doesn't always work out the exact way that you want it to work out, and that's certainly where it got to for me. So my 2014 was one of the hardest years I've ever had in my entire life. There was cancer in the family, people were in hospital. I thought I was gonna, at one stage I thought I was gonna lose my partner. It just wasn't a pleasant scenario at all. And by losing my partner, I mean hospitalization, really not, from really bad health issues. And there were just times when I promised you I wanted to give up. And sometimes I actually, when I say that, I don't just mean give up in business. For me, when I hired Russell, it really was sounds really dramatic, but my life's mission, it's so big. I really, really, really wanted to connect with someone who could get me to the next level, who could help me really get from that really stranded, grounded place, sitting at my office every single day, to a place where I'm, helping people all around the world. And that's why I chose Russell. But man, it was hard. It was really, really, really hard at times to have to deal with those things that come up in your personal life all the time. It was not an easy scenario in 2014, but I'm really, really, really grateful that I listened to Russell. I'm really grateful that I hired him as a coach. The man has changed my life forever. Once you're, my mind has been blown completely, and there's no way back. I know that anything is possible now.